How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I am back with another video. And family, as always, I try to bring videos that hopefully we can dissect it, break it down, and see where the faults are occurring, and then we can do a course correction and start doing better. So, family, the debauchery continues, and I will let the videos speak for themselves, and I will add my commentary along the way. I just wanna know if you my friend. I just wanna know if you pretending. So, family, I just had to jump in and stop the video really, really quick. Is this really all they have to offer? So basically, this young lady done came on these internet streets, the World Wide Web, and she pretty much done said, basically, you ain't she got no vaginal control. She got no vaginal discipline. See, just like men can have no dick discipline, women can have no pussy discipline, right? So now this young lady looked like she maybe somewhere in looked like she at a gym, maybe even perhaps Planet Fitness, perhaps, and she twerking and dirking and just dangling that little soft little young suckling cheeks all for the world to see. And not only is she doing that, now she has the caption, "Nut in me or pull out." Now, my good lady, now I don't know you and I don't want to say, what I'm saying, I don't want to make judgment. We don't want to make judgment, but hey, you the one put this BS on these internet streets. So when you put it out there, well, hey, people can talk about it. And you giving off that energy that really and truly, Lil Dank and them just busting it up, busting it wide open. Let me tell you something, Lil Pookie working them cheeks 6 ways a Sunday and nowhere stopping in between. So she just nasty with it, just nasty with it. And if you ask her, well, hey, young lady, what you prefer? How do you want it? What you think she gonna choose? In me or pull out? I'll give y'all a minute to think about that. Time's up. Y'all already know what she about. I know I've been away.
For those of you who are still shocked, perplexed, and disgruntled about what you see in the black community, it's because we breed prostitutes and whores. When you have trends and fads talking about would you bust inside of me or not, it simply lets you know what's taking place in the black community. Imagine what's going to come out of this girl. He'll come out with an extender clip in his hand. Once he's out of his diapers, he'll be eligible for the pistol.
So, family, here's the thing. That brother 100% right. And everybody want to say, what I'm saying, these kids effed up because the dad is wasn't around. The dad is no account. But so okay, so basically the baby mamas, they can dodge accountability. They don't have to be accountable for the quality of a man that they chose to lay down and procreate with. So just let them just get off the hook scot free. But then first chance you get, you want to railroad the man. No, no, nope. That's not the way it works. Because at the end of the day, a woman controls all access to her body, and she controls whether she allows a guy to run up in it, protect it or not. And if she allows the man to run up in it unprotected, which this young lady demonstrated, as the young lady in the video demonstrated, that a lot of them, they bought it. They bought that life. And she winds up, you know what I'm saying, allowing this to happen. They even got things to take care of that. They have mechanisms in place that you can go to the drugstore and you know, do the walk of shame up to the counter, but a lot of them not shame. They walk up to the counter proudly and they ask for, you know, the little pill that you can take if you were undisciplined the night before, you had no vaginal discipline. So we got to stop it with this saying that, oh, well, you know, it's the men's fault. No, yeah, the men are accountable, but the women are far more accountable, and the onus is on them. Unless a man forcibly took it under force or threat of force, now that's a horse of a different color. But if that did not happen, and this young lady chose to, you know, leave it up to Lil Pookie, hey, we already being irresponsible, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you make the decision whether you want to keep it on up in here, or you want to spray up the club, or you want to make a quick exit. So, but what you think Lil Pookie gonna choose? What you think? What you think? And Lil Pookie gonna go on there and he is gonna choose to just stay up in the club, past the club close at 3 o'clock. Lil Pookie trying to stay up in the club all night long. He don't want the club. He don't want to leave the club. He want to stay up in it. That's his answer. So now you know Lil Pookie ain't got nothing going. And it might not even be a Lil Pookie. It might be a regular dude who trying to figure his life out. He ain't got it together. He's still trying to figure it out. He a young man. You know that if you get a baby or you get impregnated by this person who's still trying to figure his life out, you know this person is not in no way, shape, form, or fashion able to take care of no kid. And if you allow yourself to get pregnant, well, then whose fault is that? Because you could have made said person wear a condom, or you could have gotten on birth control yourself. But now you know you have a trend that women say they on birth control, but then they're not. You know, because a lot of men say, "Hey, I don't have a problem wearing a barrier," but then when the woman's asked, "Oh no, you good? I ain't trying to get pregnant around here. I ain't trying to have no kids. I'm good. I'm on the pill." Knowing damn well she ain't seen no pill since a pill seen her. Then she lied, and now she get pregnant. So now things get effed up. Now this dude really don't want, you know, because he didn't ask to be no father. Granted, you know, maybe he was irresponsible. Maybe he tried to be responsible. She lied and said she was on the pill and wasn't. And he said, okay, well, I don't need to wear a condom. Or whatever the case is. But the fact of the matter is that they say what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, goddamn, the chicken came first because the chicken had to lay the egg. So it all starts from somewhere. And you're seeing now more so than ever that women are basically, you know, coming on these internet streets and saying that, you know, they begging the question. You wanna bust up in and you wanna pull out. They leaving it up to chance. Rolling the dice.
What's good, family? Listen, this to my brothers out here, young, older, grown, whatever. You need to stop laying down with these 304s and not expecting consequences. You guys don't understand the amount of people I've seen to where they living a rough life, they struggling, they living a stressed out life, they finances in shambles because they decided to sleep with a 304 or a woman that they know and knew in their minds that they would not wipe up. Many of our brothers, and this is including me in my past, had a lack of sexual self-control, which led to a lot of bad decision making and a lot of bad consequences. First of all, it's just trifling when you really think about it, because you don't know who's sleeping with who, you don't know who has what, you don't know what they got going on, and not only just from the physical aspect, but from the spiritual aspect. You don't know what kind of ruachs or spirits these people are carrying in them. and carrying on in their spirit, on their soul, in their flesh, and being transferred over to you. This is why the scripture says, even if a man commits adultery with a whore, he is one with her, because you become one in spirit. This is why when you around somebody, like for example, me and my wife, we've been together for so long, we'll be thinking the same thing at the same time. We'll do the same stuff at the same time, because we are literally one in spirit and one in flesh, because we made a covenant through our flesh. Do you understand that?
Because STDs ain't just sexually transmitted, they spiritually transmitted. When you sleep with a chaotic spirit, you invite chaos in your life. When you enter that woman portal, you download whatever she uploads in your hard drive. So whatever negative effects she got going on will eventually affect you. It's a soul tie. It's a transmitted transaction. That's why you gotta have mushroom tip discipline.
And you know what, family, ladies, that's why it's not, even if they do, even though there's a such thing as protection, man, they got all kinds of ways nowadays you can have protected sex. But it still probably is not a good practice to let every and anybody just spray up your little club. It's just probably not a good practice, because as the brother said, we talking, we see people think that when you get together, smash, it's just a sex thing. But nah, man, it's much deeper than that. You talking about soul ties, you talking about bonds. And that's another reason why they say it's probably not a good practice for women to be promiscuous, because you start acquiring these bonds with these different various men, and at some point they say you lose the ability to pair bond. I don't know if that's scientifically proven. I don't know if it's factual, but when you start looking at the soul ties of it, it just takes on a whole different type of energy.
Can't be just laid up with any and everybody. You don't know what they got or what they going through. Carry on.
So when you decide to sleep with a woman that you know is not wife material, a woman that you would not present to your family, a woman that you would not be proud to present to your mother, and you are gambling and throwing the dice on these consequences just so you could get some TNA, man, don't be baffled, don't be surprised when you end up with some kind of disease, some kind of sickness, when you end up with a woman that keeps you away from your child, when you end up paying child support and struggling, and you get that 20% or more taken out of your check bi-weekly. I told y'all, I seen them checks when I used to work in property management, having to verify people's pay stubs and their bank accounts, seeing that money come out like clockwork. You don't even see that bread, man.
Better ask Kanye. Ain't y'all call him Ye? Kanye, whoever he is to you, you better ask him something. He paying $250,000 a month in child support for 18 years because he laid up with a witch that took his mind and took his goddamn money. Go ask Lamar Odom. He laid up with a sister and turned into a straight bass head. Was supposed to be in the Hall of Fame. Now he on the goddamn pipe. She took his mind and his money. You lay up and have them goddamn babies. You gonna pay for 18 years and 22 years if that child go to college. Carry on.
A lot of us think about the physical, how you could get satisfied in that moment. Oh, she look like this, she look good. I'm just trying to hit, whatever the case is, but you do not think about the consequences, and that's a major issue. A lot of men don't think about consequences or don't understand consequences until it's too late.
Yeah, family, and he 100% right. Consequences. And you would think the responsible thing would be, hey, you know what? If we gonna get together, we gonna link up and we gonna smash, we gonna have to be responsible, right? And whether it's the man or the woman, somebody's got to be responsible. But what happens when the woman says, "Well, I'm on the pill, I'm on some type of birth control," and she's not being honest? So what do you do then? What happens there? So, the fact of the matter is this. gentlemen, you got to be careful who you let, who you just start linking up with, because like the brother said, you lay up with a person that has a dark energy, they have a lot of chaotic BS going on. Don't think that you ain't gonna, after you get done handling business, that energy ain't gonna get up and leave with you. So that is an actual thing, and it's a real thing. So not only when you look at the STDs, when you think about not only the STDs, the child support, not only the child support, when you think about the mental stress you're gonna go through, the draining of your peace. So you got all these things that could potentially explode your life into 1,000 pieces, at least for 18 years. If you get a chick knocked up and she decide that you know you gon' you finna be you finna pay out the yin yang. So I think it's a lot of people that gonna agree or agree to disagree, but at the end of the day is that the root of the story is this, man. It's just we got to stop. We got to stop, because I'm not going to sit and say that back in my day, women wasn't doing the same nonsense and posing the same questions you want to bust up inside me or pull out. That was going on too, but the problem was now. Well, the problem is now we have the internet, and we have women that don't have an issue with exposing this bad behavior. They don't have no problem putting it on display for the world to see. So that's what the problem is. I'm not gonna say this type of behavior haven't always been around through millennia, through centuries. It has. But now with technology, people can see it up close and personal. She put it on display. So I don't know what city that the young lady that was in the little Planet Fitness video or whatnot that came on that we saw initially. I don't know what city she in, but y'all better be careful of that one. Yes, Lord, y'all better be careful of that one. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.